Hey guys, it's Maddie. If you are actively trying to get a job in Korea right now or recently have been looking into it in the last few months, you may have heard of recent events where a lot of teachers, foreign English teachers who are here, are getting deported from Korea. So a very loose summary of what's happening is that once the new president came into position and into power, he decided to really enforce some laws that have already been there for many years, but the president Park Geun-hye before just kind of didn't really care about too much. So what most people have kind of agreed that Moon Jae-in is trying to do is to get rid of people who are kind of cutting corners or taking advantage of whatever visa they got but are not really doing what that visa allows. The unemployment rate for young adults in Korea is pretty high, and it's kind of understandable that he wants people who live in Korea to have jobs. And if people are coming in from outside of Korea, taking those jobs and are not qualified or are not following the right rules with their visa, then they should not be here. The big hubbubaloo of it all is that these teachers who are getting deported for not having the right visa, they're not at fault. They're not the ones that are cutting corners. It's the people who hire them saying that, yes, the visa you got is good for whatever we're teaching or whatever we're running in our organization. And so the teachers are doing what their employers are telling them to do, but the employers are the ones cutting corners. So yes, the teachers are kind of victims in this situation, so they are just getting deported. It sucks. It's a really terrible, sucky situation. So I want to kind of fill you in on what I've been briefed on and what all my research has kind of done and led me to understand is the general consensus and cause for concern. Do not take my word as some sort of professional. I am not a professional in the situation. I have just heard a lot about it, done a lot of reading of articles, and looked into what schools and organizations are getting in trouble. So I'm familiar with the situation. I'm not an expert, so please do not take my word for 100%, but I'm kind of trying to let you know what the situation is in case you're looking to get a job in Korea. The main visa that everyone tells you to get if you want to be a teacher in Korea is the E2 visa. And this E2 visa allows you to teach conversational English. The one stipulation is that you are not qualified to give out any sort of certificates or degrees or do high-level English-speaking tests. Teachers who are capable of giving out certifications of achievement for learning English or for giving out TOEFL tests, those teachers are under a different visa. I do know that the groups of foreign teachers that have been getting deported have been from after-school programs that were connected to a public school, so they were not technically an academy. They were just an after-school kind of extracurricular activity group, and that was not okay. So those teachers all had E2 visas, but they were teaching grammar, they were teaching test-taking skills, when all they were qualified to do was teach conversational English, so they were breaking their visa. The same thing happened at some other after-school programs and some kindies, they call them, and those are basically just teachers who are doing more than they're really allowed to do. I highly recommend you check out the list of South Korean visas. It's literally on Wikipedia. It lists all the different types of visas that you can have. But the most common English teaching visa is the E2 visa, which says foreign language instructor, but the stipulation is that you're only teaching conversational English. The real confusing part of it all is that when they make these visa names, it's kind of vague about how they describe what they do, so you have to be really careful. I am aware that if you teach at an international school, you have an E7 visa, which is described on the website as designated activities. So I think that means it's a little harder to get, and they know that you are teaching certain subjects, because at an international school you might be teaching in English, but you're teaching some other subject like math or history or science. Now some people have been like, oh, it's not a big deal, it'll just blow over, they're just trying to scare foreigners, blah 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 blah. But that's not true. Not at my academy, but in my like suburban area, 20 foreigners have been deported because of being in these situations. And there's nothing we can really do to stop it from happening. You just kind of have to hope and pray that whatever situation you're in, whatever after school program or academy or school that you're working at is qualified, is not breaking any laws. I'm very confident that the academy that I'm working in is 100% legitimate. We're not going to get in trouble because we don't teach grammar, we don't teach from books. We only teach conversational English, and we have Korean co-teachers who teach the grammar from the workbooks and teach how to take Korean level testing. So I feel confident in my situation, but if you are looking for a job in Korea, make sure you are very, very careful about your employer and ask them directly. Will I be teaching only conversational English? Am I getting an E2 visa? What visa am I supposed to get, and what does it qualify me for? I do think because this crackdown is happening right now that employers will be a lot more careful with who they hire, but if you feel like there's a sudden drop in available positions, it's because these after-school programs are getting shut down. This week at my academy, I've had a lot of brand new students, and guess what? It's because their foreign teachers got deported. I'm not trying to scare anyone. There are definitely still jobs out there. Just be smart, be careful, and ask a lot of questions, and protect yourself. Down in the description box below, I'm gonna put all the links to the different websites that I've gathered information from, and you can go check those things out yourself and do more research so you can feel confident in whatever decision you make. I hope this was helpful. Good luck with whatever you decide to do, and be safe and be smart. I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.